If you're an agent and you don't talk to your sellers like this, and you don't give them more than one option, which is listing the property, just leave the business. You're just gonna get wiped off the face of the earth. Hi. One thing I would want you to write down is I want you to write down the word seller net sheet. It's something an agent should give you every time they sell your house. And what it is they say, okay, Cheryl, let's say we sell the house for $410. Here's what my commissions will look like. Here's what the other agent's commissions will look like. Here's what the closing costs will look like. And then also they need to show you the payments that you're making, because you're kind of making payments on the house. So if they take a month to sell it versus 9 months to sell it, that's an 8-month time frame that they need to show you, hey, that's money coming out of your pocket, right? So a lot of agents won't show that because they'll go, if I show Cheryl this, then she won't sign with me. But a lot of the sellers we work with, remember, my primary business model is working with sellers who have already fired their real estate agent. Right. And so I hear all the horror stories of the agent didn't tell them how much it was gonna cost to sell the house. Yeah. So before you make a decision, I would suggest know what the retail option will actually get you in your pocket before you make a decision with the other things. Okay. I think I'm gonna take a guess. Your loan and your other loan add up to 270, correct? Okay, plus the 10 grand?
Yeah, because I haven't made payments.
So you're at 280.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at 280. The average cost to sell a house in America is 10%. That's 3% to one agent, 3% to another agent. They might give you a discount. But then you've got closing costs, you've got concessions. Do you know what concessions are? So when you bought this house, do you remember when you hired an inspector and they give you a big long list of all the things that are wrong with the house?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, your buyer is gonna do that same thing. I assume not everything's wrong with the house, but the inspector gets paid $700 to find things wrong with the house. And that's why it costs an average person to sell their house 10% in America. So if I go $41,000 is the cost of all of those things added up, commission, closing costs, concessions, blah, blah, blah. Plus the average time to sell a home today in Maricopa County is about 120 days. So 4 months. So you got 4 months of payments, taxes, insurance, utilities. So you've got to add those things up. What's the payment on this house, the two things combined?
2,300.
Okay, 2,300. So you want to take the 2,300 and you're going to make those payments for at least 4 months. So let's just add another $10,000 that you're going to have to come out of pocket. Okay, so let's add this up. We start at 410, and she didn't tell you this, and most agents won't. We take out the cost to sell the property. We take out the cost of the first mortgage. We take out the cost of the second one. We take out the cost of the 10,000 you're behind on and the 10,000 more you have to pay. What you will actually walk away with your friend Mary is $79,000. Now, this is the disheartening part of
because that's like half of your equity.
Right. And I always tell people equity is not the difference between what you owe and what it sells for. Equity is what you get in your pocket after you pay all the fees. And it's usually like 40 grand or 50 grand less than what most sellers think. And the agent's not going to tell you that, because then it's like you're going to go and look for another cheaper agent. Typically is why agents won't go through and go, well, this is what you're actually going to pay out of pocket. Right. Okay, great. So let's assume all of this is true. You're at 79 grand. Let's say I'm 20 grand off. Let's say that she gives you a commission break and the other agent gives you a commission break and you get an extra $20,000. Still, you'd be at like 99,000 bucks, right? Okay, that's fun. So if you want to go through that to get these numbers, that's option one. Option two would be if the house is worth 410, somebody like me, it doesn't have to be me specifically, but let's say it's somebody like me, comes along and says, look, I'll represent myself, you represent yourself, right? Which is what they used to do in the old days before agents were a thing. But you want 410 and I want to avoid banks. I want to avoid going and getting a 7.5% interest rate and I want to just buy the house, right? What I would do is you've already done 90% of the work that needs to be done here, maybe even more. Here's how this would work for me. Just so you understand the math on my side and you understand how I would make money. So I would go, all right, this needs to be turned into a bedroom. This we leave alone. This is like a hallway that we would probably keep open. And then that would turn into a bedroom. I'd throw up a wall right here, but this would stay open. Okay, so now you've got 6 bedrooms in here. I would take the garage and I'd turn a part of it into a bedroom, like half of it. And then I would furnish it. So I'd get, the average bedroom cost me like 800 bucks to furnish it with a bed, mattress, all that kind of stuff, pretty inexpensive. And you've got some of the stuff already here anyway. maybe I buy that off of you. And what I would do is I'd say, okay, I've got to catch up your payments, 10 grand. I've got to pay for closing costs at a title company, probably another $10,000. I want to put money in your pocket so you can go, all right, cool. I'm not going to get all my money right now, but I'm going to get a chunk of money now. What would that number be for you? 20 grand?
I would love to get, I was gonna say 25 grand.
Let's just throw it 20 grand, okay? And I just want you to see how the numbers would work for me. So I go, all right, 20 grand to you, let's say hypothetically, and then I put in with the 4 walls, furniture, and a couple of payments while I'm doing that, because I've got to make payments. Obviously, I'm taking over your existing mortgages, right? Those payments, and then maybe even make a monthly payment to you on your equity, like a couple $100 or whatever. Let's say I'm $35,000 for that, all of that. So I've got to come up with 75 grand. Cool. So how do I make money? Let's look at that. I'm 75 grand into the deal, me. If I have 7 bedrooms, I would have, each bedroom would rent for $875 each times 6, but then the primary bedroom has a bathroom attached to it. That one would probably rent for like $1,100 a room times 1. Okay, so what's my math on how much money I could bring in? I could bring in $6,360 a month. Now, I bet you this is already better than your Airbnb number.
It absolutely is.
Out of that 6,360, okay, here's how this works. I take that 6,360, PadSplit takes 15%. Okay, so let's multiply that by 85%, which is what we would keep. So that means that's still $5,400, right? So now there's $5,406. How much are both your mortgage payments combined?
23, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you take out the $2,300, that's what's left. Now, you're gonna take out utilities, internet, cleaning, landscape. So let's just take another $1,000 a month off of that. I would be able to, on this property, this is why I would wanna do this deal. I would be able to bring in $2,106 a month after paying my expenses. That's pretty good.
It's really good.
Do you see why I would want this house? And do
absolutely
you see why I would buy it at the 410? Okay, cool. So if you do that, I come to the table, I'll give you 20 grand. My 20 grand doesn't come from me, it comes from somebody else. Cool. In this scenario, you've gotten 20 grand. The next thing would be, we have to figure out when would you get the rest of the money, right? That could be a year, that could be 2 years, it could be, most of my sellers give me minimum 5 years, right? And that's a conversation we don't need to necessarily have today, but that's how that structure would work. You say, I want this deal, give me 20 grand, catch up my payments, let me stay in the house for another 30 days. I'll go figure out what I'm gonna do. You'd move somewhere else, you'd go live with your sister or something, right? Okay, cool. Okay, option 3, very similar to option 2. Option 3 is, I don't give you 20 grand up front, I give you 10. And I say, you're gonna be my partner on this deal. And the way I would do this is I would say, all right, I'm buying the house from you at 410. Obviously on paper. You have a mortgage at 270. The difference or the delta between the 410 and the 270 is how much money? 140 grand, right? So I would say, all right, Cheryl, I guarantee you that I will give you $140,000. I'm gonna give you $10,000 down now, and you're gonna finance the 130 until you and I as a partnership either sell the house or we refinance it and get a new loan that wipes out your equity. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
So,
go ahead.
So you catch it up.
Yep.
And then that's
I would catch it. I would not only, well, yes. Okay, let's do this. Great question. I forget about the catching up. I would for sure catch it up. But this 10 grand I'm talking about goes to you in this scenario.
Okay.
I'd catch it up. I'd make next month's payments. I'd pay for the closing costs. I'd pay for all the paperwork. And then I would give you 10 grand. So then you go, okay, cool, I've got some money. But then what I'm asking is I'm saying, hey, Cheryl, instead of me paying you this 130 in a year, why don't you and I just go the distance on this house? Let me manage it. I'll give you half the cash flow. My team takes half the cash flow. And we sell this house when it's worth 550 or 540. That might be 5 years. That might be 3 years. That might be 15 years. That might be 12 years. I don't know. But during that whole time, you're also receiving a monthly check. So it kind of depends on what you want.
Which has not happened for
right.
a minute, yeah.
Option 1, you get your money within 3 to 6 months from your agent. The money you get is probably 79 to 99,000. Somewhere in there is your net in your pocket walk away, right? Option 2, you get your 140, but you're gonna have to wait a little while and you get 20 grand up front. Cool. I'm the full owner in option 2. So you make more money, you just gotta wait a little bit more time. Option 3, which I'll walk through because we haven't finished it yet. But option 3, you make significantly more money, but you also have to wait more time. So it depends on what you want to do. And it depends on where you are, right? Mentally, mindset wise, what's going on in your life? Do I want all my money right now to travel? Or am I cool making $500 a month on this house until we sell it in 5 years and I make an extra $50,000? I don't know. Let's say the house today is worth $410. What if the house goes down to $360 because of the market change or interest rates go up or whatever else? Somebody who's buying and holding this property, I don't care what the value is. I care what it can produce monthly. I care about the certainty of the cash flow, right? Okay, cool. So the challenge is if the market does go down, you want to escape in option 1 as fast as possible if you don't have option 3 as an actual option. Option 3 also puts you in a situation where you're like, yeah, I could make $79,000 with option 1. I can make $140,000 with option 2, or I could potentially make $220,000 with option 3 plus monthly residual. I just got to be patient through the up and down cycles until the house gets to a level where it makes sense to sell it, or I wouldn't sell it, I would refinance it. So I'd go down to a bank, let's say interest rates go back down to like 5% in a couple of years. I would go to a bank and go, hey guys, would you refinance Cheryl out? So they'd pay off the 120, the 150, your equity. And I say, do you want out of the deal? And you go, yeah, I want out of the deal. Okay, great. So let's say that I lock you in at 410. Okay, that's your price, I'm buying it from you. Let's say the house goes from 410 to 475,000 in 4 years. I don't know what it'll do, who knows? If it goes up from 410 to 475, who gets that $65,000? No. In option 3, we split it.
Oh, really?
Yep. So option 3, I go, hey, if it appreciates 65 grand, you get $32,500 and I get $32,500 because we're partners on the deal. Does that make sense? So not only did you get your equity that's bundled in the 410, but you get that extra 32.5 and I get the other 32.5 because I obviously managed the property, I took care of it, all of that kind of stuff. So let's say we refinance it at 475. I could go, hey, here's your money. I'm actually gonna refinance and keep the property. I'm just gonna buy you out. I could buy it out that time, or you and I could go, this is going great. We're both making $500 a month net cash flow. Why don't we just keep riding this thing off into the sunset? That depends on you. I have some partners that stick with me for 12 months. I have some partners that stick with me for 8 years, and we're still riding. You have to make that determination. And you could say, hey, Pace, I want to be bought out the second we can buy it out. And I'll go, okay, no problem. We're working with lenders, and I'll let you know when we get somebody that approves us at this dollar amount, and I'll get you your equity and the $32,500. Obviously, that number is a made-up number. So that's option 3. And there's no real estate agents involved in any of this stuff. There is, however, a title company and an escrow officer. So they're a third party that will watch over the documents, make sure you're protected, all that kind of stuff. I will have a transaction coordinator involved that does all the paperwork, so you don't have to worry about it, I don't have to worry about it, and they'll, all that. Do you have an attorney you like a real estate attorney you know? Okay, I have a good real estate attorney that you could talk to and go, hey, before I look at this deal, tell me why I shouldn't sign this deal. And I'll refer them to you, and they'll tell you all the 10 reasons why you shouldn't, right? The reasons you shouldn't is, number 1, what if you want all the money right now? What if you want that 80 grand in option 1 right now? That's one reason.
Well, I won't get it right now.
4 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever, right? You don't know, it's a gamble. So you've got those 3 options that I can think of. The 4th option would be even better for you.
Okay.
But it's gonna require a lot more work.
Which is?
Go find the 75 grand yourself.
Oh, okay. Do all the stuff that.
Go find a private money lender that's gonna say, here's 75 grand. You could pay yourself 20 grand up front. You could get your $10,000 in arrears paid. You could do all that stuff, turn this into a PadSplit. So you could go with option 4. You would make way more money. Why is anybody doing traditional real estate? It doesn't make any sense to me. How does that make any sense to do any traditional real estate right now? So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll do a follow-up video. And by the way, if you're an agent, listen to me, and you don't talk to your sellers like this, and you don't give them more than one option, which is listing the property, just leave the business. Get out of the business. You have no right to be in this business. I can educate your sellers way better than you can. I've never been licensed. I will never be licensed. And I know more about real estate than you do. You agents, You need to subscribe to the YouTube channel before you just leave the business altogether, because you're just going to get wiped off the face of the earth. Bye.